Lots of conversations. Okay. It's saying we're live, but I don't have YouTube open, so I don't know if it has started yet. But hello.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the next installment of the Kate Daniels Read Along.
Woo!
So,
The next
woo!
to last.
Then, oh
The
God,
second
that's
last
right.
one.
We're almost done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit sad.
It is a bit
But
sad.
then I keep thinking there's all the other Alona Andrews books we can read.
I was gonna say,
true.
I feel like it would be sad if we weren't continuing, but since we are continuing, I'm like totally fine.
Hey, Bree.
Hey, Bree.
Hey. I haven't read any of these
I'm
books. This
excited.
was my first time reading all of these, so
I'm
a
so
lot.
excited for that.
I
There's a
am.
lot.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
I know.
So much happens in these last few
Mhm.
books. Like they're non-stop.
Yep.
All right. So we didn't introduce it ourselves. Should we introduce? Well, been here for ages.
I
But
don't know why
Heather?
they're jumping in on book 9 if they don't know who we are, or book 8. I have
people do
literally
things.
the amount of times I have mixed up magic shifts and magic binds, like looking for the covers and stuff. I've lost it. All right, I'm Heather from Hia Booktubes, as the screen says, except for when Stef takes it away right as I point that out.
Sorry.
And this is all a reread for me, and I read romance, if you don't know.
Hi. I'm Megan, or Meowth Vader, and I don't remember the last time I posted a video, or a post on Instagram. I'm invisible until I'm on these live shows once a month. But I read romance,
okay.
I read manga, and I crochet items.
I
She's
feel
very
like you're
talented.
either on a live show or in a DM, and that's it.
Yeah. I DM people
That's
a
why we
lot.
love having you in the live shows. All right. I'm Stef. You're on my channel. I'm rereading all of these books for like the 4th time. So.
Oh yeah, I've never read these books. Well, I've never read the ones you just read.
Yeah.
Steph is the expert, and I'm the moderate, and Megan's the newbie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we're on the big screen. Hello to everyone who's
We're
here.
famous.
I would look real good.
All right. Hello,
Look at my beautiful washed out self. I'm in like a cream shirt with a cream background.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like doing the thumbnails for those videos, I'm like, maybe I should wear color because this does not look great.
Crocheters unite.
Well, it's evening for you guys. The only reason I look vaguely presentable is because it's the middle of the day.
That's fair. I mean,
dude, I put on a bra for you. Like, you should be happy. That's the effort I put in. I made it all day, and then I was like, 8:30 at night, I have to put a bra on.
I know. I made my sweater, and it's made of like the velvety.
Did you make that?
Yarn? Yeah, I made this.
Look at you.
And it's just like a giant blanket. It's amazing. It weighs like 10 pounds when you like try to wash it, but it's great.
And you've got your fellow crocheters in the chat.
Yeah, crocheters.
Awesome. You guys. Right. Hey, I got real good at the chain as a child/adult. Man, I could crochet a chain for like so long, like just grab the whole thing.
Forever and
it was all the steps after that really were a struggle.
Well, you're one step up on me. I was never good at any of that. I just didn't have the patience.
Yeah.
All right.
I have lots of patience.
So,
do I leave a mark?
Talented. Talented.
She is. It's true.
All right. Should we start talking about the first book since we've got 2 books and a novella?
Yeah, we should.
So the first book, Kate meets Curran.
The first book for today.
I couldn't help.
I feel like Steph was very confused there for a minute.
I was today. Yes, I'm right there with you, Francesca. I want the next one, but
okay. So she's talking about Blood Heir, not magic stars.
I haven't read Blood Air
No.
yet. We're not there yet.
Me
right?
either.
Oh, God,
and
we
I
weren't there
literally
yet, right?
cannot wait. It's what we're doing in March.
Okay,
Yes.
just making sure. Is it March?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
because we're going to
March.
finish
Next
Kate
month we'll
Daniels
do
for February.
9.5 and 10.
We'll do Blood Air for March. And then April, we'll start Hidden Legacy.
Oh, that's exciting. I like how I don't even know what we're doing. I'm just like, what?
I've been doing
We'll just tell
math
you
in
what
my
you're
head.
reading.
You just tell me what to read. I'm like, hey, we're like 2 weeks into the month. Can y'all tell me what we're reading?
No. You're like, okay, the live show's in 5 days. I guess I have to start
I finished
reading
them all.
now. You did.
I'm on.
You
I'm
did
like
finish
on
them all.
track with it at least.
We did delay multiple days, but yes, you finished it all. Go, yeah.
To be fair, I finished them on time for the live show.
Good job.
It was.
I did
just
not.
the
Because
American
I was
Hustle
like
Live is
rereading
live
Magic
at the moment.
Stars.
Live is
ahead.
live at the moment, and
Yep.
it's uncooperative
It
at times, is the way I'm choosing to view it. So we just go with the flow.
Well, if anybody knows NFL teams, the Bengals has been my husband's favorite team since he was a child, and they just won their first playoff game in my lifetime.
Oh, that's exciting. I was like, ooh, the
and
Bengals.
that was
that's the team he chose?
Saturday. He was 8, and everybody around him liked the Steelers, and he was like, "No, I hate the Steelers." And his like step grandpa had a game on and was like, "Who's your favorite team?" And the Bengals were orange, which is his favorite color, and they were playing the Steelers, and he was like, "Them." And he stuck with it through all their losing seasons for his whole life.
Oh,
So yes,
no.
that
To be fair, I did.
that was Saturday.
To be fair, I did that with my footy team over here. So
Did you?
it's you don't ask a 5-year-old who doesn't know anything about football who their favorite team is, because what you do is you pick whatever your best friend says is their favorite team,
Or
Yeah.
you pick your favorite color or whatever. And yeah, that's how
it just happened to be lucky that my favorite team, well, the team that my best friend loved was the same team that my dad loved. So he was happy. I'm like, I don't even watch the football.
That's funny.
I just go for America's team because they're the closest football team to my family, i.e. the Cowboys.
Yes.
Fair enough.
For those who don't
Who
know.
just
Although now I
lost.
also, that's fine.
Just pointing out, they just lost.
That's fine. I'm now
Mhm.
caring more about the Saints just because that's spouse's family's team, and the Saints are more fun anyway.
Got you.
All right.
On continuing the side conversation that's not it, Francesca, I'm like so jealous that you continued because I've been waiting so badly to read Iron and Magic or whatever it is, but I can't read it till after the live because I know I'll get confused about what I'm actually supposed to talk about.
Same.
So I've just been waiting. I want to read it.
It's okay. We're nearly there.
I know.
Nearly there.
I'm literally going to start it tonight. Just FYI. I'm starting it tonight.
I'm gonna do this live show, tell myself I'm gonna start it, and then immediately
I love
forget
it.
it exists for the next like 2 weeks.
I pulled everything out so that it's now sitting here and totally blow my TBR out of the water.
Good job.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
All right.
begin. We won't make stuff round us up.
Steph's not got the
I really
brain
want to
power
go to a
control
hockey
this,
game.
so
I've never been to a hockey game.
Hockey
I have been
games
to an ice
are the
hockey game.
best. I've been to so
We only
many
do ice
hockey
hockey, I think.
games. Even
I
if you
want
don't care,
to.
they're highly entertaining.
I really want to. Like, I was like, oh man, hockey sounds cool. And then I like got obsessed with hockey romances for a bit. And I'm like, hockey sounds even cooler than I thought, even though I know they're just made up. But I'm in Texas, so we have like one actual hockey team because it's really hot here. So ice hockey is not like a big thing.
It's funny because here, like, I will define between ice hockey and field hockey because what most people play here is field hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was
We don't
really
do that
excited
here.
when I went to Canada with my best friend and she took me to a hockey game. I'm like, this is great.
Ice hockey
I have
is
absolutely no idea what's
very
going on in a hockey
entertaining.
game of any kind, field or ice hockey, but it's great.
I want to go to an ice hockey game. Had I lived in Dallas, I probably would have gone to a Stars game at least once in my life. But alas, I don't live near there.
They're
I've been to basketball games. That's it. Just basketball and minor league baseball. Minor league baseball is a hoot and a
Wow.
half because no one cares about minor leagues, so they go all out and they're just like, here, have a
Ours-
penny beer.
I always
And-
go to minor leagues on dollar night when like your
Exactly.
hot dog and drink is $1.
Yep.
Like,
And
yeah,
then
take my money.
we just have a giant puffy taco running around, which sounds really dirty, but like it's just San Antonio's just tacos. It's what we like, so that's
Sorry, now I have to ask, just because we've been talking about sports and sports are not my thing.
Mhm.
What sport do you think Kate and Curran would play? If
Like
I think
backyard
Kate would play
touch
roller
football.
derby.
Well, not touch football, but I
Yeah.
feel like they play backyard
Well, see,
football.
I think Julie would play roller derby.
Yeah, I think
Or do
so.
roller derby.
Julie would definitely do roller derby.
Nah, Julie would like golf or something.
No, I don't think she'd golf.
She'd be preppy, and then she would beam you with a club.
Wouldn't that
she'd
just be
preppy, but
lacrosse?
she'd do
Wouldn't that
roller
just mean
derby.
she'd play
leave
lacrosse?
blood and guts on the golf course.
I feel like in high school she would try polo because she's like really into horses.
Maybe.
Oh, she could
I
do
can see that.
dressage.
I don't know if she'd do that. It seems like a little
Maybe she'd
too like
do
artsy for Julie.
Yeah, maybe she'd do more like Western style, like barrel racing.
I could see the boy wonder doing baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has the body type for it.
He does. I could see Curran doing rugby. That sounds solid.
I agree.
I could still see Kate doing roller derby.
Oh, fencing would be good for Julie.
Yeah,
would be
I
good.
could see that. I could see that one.
No,
Sonia would
because
probably also be a
Kate,
fencer.
no. Kate tried to teach her sword play.
That's true.
And
And
she
she
was
picked
like,
up an axe
no,
and she was like, I like this.
no.
Give me an axe.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she wouldn't be good at fencing.
I'm not saying she wouldn't be good at it. I'm saying she wouldn't do it.
That's fair.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
We
that's just
have
a random-
factual evidence for that one.
I think Ascanio would do
Fine.
fencing. I could see Ascanio being like putting on a Zorro suit like first day of practice and being like, all right, let's do this.
Kate could do MMA.
Oh yeah, Kate could do MMA.
That's solid.
Simon would do
Okay.
golf because that's the sport you play to get in with like rich people.
That's true too. And there's no pain. It's a non-contact sport.
Exactly. And you can do it whatever shape or size you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, axe throwing. She'd press all around us. I love that.
Okay. All right. Shall we actually start talking about the book, or shall we just continue with our sports?
I mean, I
Let's
figured
talk
it was going to
about the
go
book.
something like this anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, how does the book start? The book starts with the amnesia
The ghouls. No, it
storyline.
starts with the ghouls.
The goals. Okay,
The
yeah.
ghouls start invading Atlanta.
Yes.
I love how sometimes they'll introduce things that they haven't mentioned at all, but I love when, like with this, you've seen them around, you know that they exist in the world technically, but all of a sudden they're part of the storyline.
Mhm.
And I always like how
They are
do
really
that.
good at sort of just introducing something and letting it sit there and then bringing it back to the fore when it's actually
Yeah.
serves a
Mm-hmm.
purpose in the story. 'Cause
I
I like. Oh, sorry, you go.
Well, I just love what they did with the ghouls and why they existed and what they could turn into and how nobody quite knew why they existed and they like figured that out and stuff. I really liked all of that.
That
I
was
like
pretty
that
cool.
storyline.
And I like Mitchell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mitchell? Yeah.
I think that was his name, yeah.
hmm Sounds right.
I did like that it was now cutting edge is Kate and Curran's job. So they're just like the dream team. That makes me happy.
And this is the one where
also
they
big-
take over the mercenary guild too, right?
It is.
It's 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one where they're like,
Well,
hey
that-
Curran, we can't give you all of your stocks in cash. So
That
here's
made
the
me
deal.
so mad. So mad. I was like, he led you guys for 15 years and you won't even give him the 10% of your business that you're supposed to? You're just gonna be like,
yeah.
no.
I do like that Curran called them out though, because they were like, well, we don't have money, but we can give you the guild. And he's like, I'm pretty sure that Raphael has more than enough money in that business that I can get my money. Because I have stocks in there too.
And I just find it so incredibly frustrating. I do understand how they have it set up, but it's like once they're out of the pack, they are second-class citizens. I'm just like, but they're literally the same people that would like bleed for you, and you're now screwing them over.
Kate's pretty much always been a second-class citizen to the shapeshifters, and most of them still treat Curran like the Beast Lord, in that they are terrified of him.
But we're literally talking about Raphael and Jim.
Oh yeah, no,
screwing them over.
Jim's trash. Like, I'm still very like, I can't with Jim. Jim makes me so mad. I love Dolly
so mad. Jim makes me so mad.
I hate him so much sometimes.
Was it 8 or 9 where he like screwed everything up because of Dolly? It's 9, right?
It's 9.
It's 9.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one was really interesting to see how the pack, like, they really do go, no, we're doing what's going to be best for us. And it does have that flow-on effect. Not because I agree with it, but I think it's just interesting to see what they're like without Curran leading them, and the impact that Curran had.
Yeah, I do like that Jim was just like, I'm under a lot of stress. And Curran's like, yeah, I know how it feel, dick.
Exactly.
Because Jim was just like, you're Beast Lord, just won't be Beast Lord. And he's like, fine, I won't.
Yes. I feel like this is a very solid point, but I still disagree. I'm still annoyed. I also, like, it broke my heart a little bit when it was like, yeah, Curran was like, yeah, you're still the best man at my wedding. And Kate was like, all these people think that he's fine, and he's never, ever going to trust him the way that he did before, like, ever.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I mean, that trust was like, that trust was breaking long before this happened. It was breaking when he was in a coma.
Yeah.
And Jim didn't do anything to protect Kate.
No one did. Literally.
Just like it was breaking. It was breaking with Kate when freaking book 3, when Jim was just like, I don't trust you, and thus Derek got freaking molten whatever on his face.
Yeah.
And Jim was just like, no, go away, Kate. And I was like, you put Kate through so much all the time. Like, he's in the middle of freaking gigs, and he's like, oh, gotta go, Kate. Thanks for giving me my 50% of this earnings.
It's weird too with the way they write it, because you still love Jim. Like, he's a favorite character. He's a main character. Jim. He's someone that the rest of us are like, no, I want you to be happy and like have everything that you want, but also
and kind of
being the worst.
When you get the stories with, like, the Jim and Darlie stories, I really love them.
I love Dolly. Dolly's the best.
Yeah. And there is one of the short stories has a POV from Jim as well, which was really interesting to read, because I think I understand Jim's personality and why he does things the way he does, but I don't agree with it. And I think the fact is that there are people like Jim out there who are, well, he's super paranoid for the start. And he's very controlling, and he's suddenly been put in a position of power where everyone knows that he is going to be absolutely unbearable for the foreseeable future. Like, and it's not just going to be Kate and Curran affected, it's going to be everyone affected. But because we're seeing it through Kate and Curran's eyes, and because it is a betrayal of sort of Kate and Curran's relationship with Jim, what he does.
Also, I feel like the thing that frustrates me is that what's good for Kate and Curran is never bad for everybody else. They're never trying to sacrifice everybody else for their own well-being. And so it's just like, so why do you guys keep trying to sacrifice them? Because you're literally driving me nuts. Because
they're good people, and they don't I don't know, they allow everyone to kind of take advantage of them because they know that they can, I guess, like, handle it. Yeah. And they just love everyone else so much. And I'm just like, but they treat you terribly. Andrea's wonderful. Andrea has stayed an amazing friend through everything. I will say.
Yeah.
Andrea's great.
there are
Andrea and
times when
Dolly are
she
great.
frustrates me, but
Well,
she definitely
but
has loyalty to them.
she has been Kate's best friend and like never stopped being Kate's best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Steph, you really dislike the Amnesia plotline in here,
I just
right?
find it annoying. Like this far into the series, do we need to have an amnesia plot?
But she like doesn't
Like,
even ever forget her.
It wasn't
her
like
people.
it wasn't like
I
a
know.
big amnesia plot. It wasn't like who is Kate Daniels again?
I know, but
It
it
was
just seemed
like, you
rather
might not.
convenient for her to forget that the key thing that she needed, the key piece of information that she needed
That's
to
true.
just figure out what
But
was going on.
also
Like that,
she-
But I mean, to be fair,
that was the thing that
when
But
you get a
also,
concussion,
she would have
there's
died
it can't.
if she was a human, and it was like a bunch of little mini strokes and a brain bleed and
I know. It just
coma.
annoys me. Amnesia plots just annoy me in general. That's
fair.
It's like
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
that I didn't enjoy the book, because this is one of my favorite books. Like I love everything that happens in this book, except for that one little thing. But I do like how she uses it to leverage it against Ascanio and just drive him insane, because
I love that.
he's
He's like, I'm
very
sorry, who are
embarrassed.
you? But like it
And he-
made Julie so paranoid because Julie was like, you do really remember me, right? Like you're just messing with him. And she's like, oh my God, I love you. Don't worry about it. I was like, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Julie.
I also like when Curran gets super overprotective because of it. Like wants to wrap her in bubble wrap and not let her do anything. And he's like, I asked you for one promise, not to attack a giant again. That was the only thing I asked.
I mean, to be fair, he said not to fight it. She didn't fight it.
Yeah.
She just put an end to the fight.
Right, exactly. She just finished it.
And I love that their arguments they all come down to like technical language of how they explain exactly what they've done and how they've circumvented what they've asked each other not to do.
And also when he's like, you couldn't give me 10 minutes to cool off without like packing up and leaving our home and hiding. Yeah. It's just like, I just
Actually,
need
this
a
is a
minute.
good point. It is
Need a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, when Kate was just like, I think I'm done, like this is it. I was like, no. And then that whole hospital scene was just, it was too much. It was so much.
Okay, see, I feel like the amnesia is fine because it made sense with the magic bouncing back, and obviously that was how she realized we're connected. No can do. And also,
I'm not saying that it didn't work in the book. I just don't like it as a plot device.
Which, yeah, I totally understand, because I feel like amnesia doesn't necessarily annoy me on principle. At the same time, I will literally never pick up a book based on it has the amnesia trope. Like, I'm only going to read it by accident, basically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty neutral on amnesia tropes.
It depends on how long they drag it out.
That's fair.
Yeah, like this one, they don't drag it out, and even though I've read it a few times, I keep forgetting where it comes in the book. I always thought it happened earlier and it was longer, and I forgot that it was short because it's just that thing that I don't look forward to reading. But, I do actually like that. I don't like that Kate constantly gets hurt, but I like that there's the reality of the fact that she gets injured and she's not superhuman.
She's not superhuman.
Like she's under threat.
Yeah.
Anytime she does this, because it proves that she's willing to sacrifice herself to save other people for the good of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But there are consequences to that, which you don't always get in a book like this because they all have some magical healing ability or whatever.
Yeah, like the chosen one is just like
tragic.
Invincible, basically.
Right.
Usually.
And she's definitely not invincible.
Yeah.
And she also doesn't view herself as invincible. She does so many different things where she's like, well, I'm going to die saving you, but oh well. And obviously she doesn't, but she sure thinks she's going to.
She knows what the right thing to do is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And she also thought that Curran and Julie were in the building.
Yeah. That was a lot. That was a lot. And she was just like, leave me a note. Like, you could not leave me a note.
Leave me in.
Julie never made it to school, and you didn't think to in any way let me know that you guys were fine and together? Nothing.
Which sort of leads into, it's nice that we get the level of domesticity.
That's a fight I would have with my husband. 100%. Like you could have texted me and let me know? No. Which is actually kind of funny because he literally always lets me know. But still, it's a fight we would have.
Well, because I love the whole moving into the new neighborhood. I loved the neighbors
their
that were terrorized.
Their HOA lady, I could not with their HOA lady.
She was a Curran before
she
Curran
was
the
Curran.
tagline. Just like, kill me now. I hate
I do like that Kate
so
just started
much.
like citing out laws. That made me laugh.
Yeah, I did like that too. Because surely you wouldn't be going against Article 123.
Yeah.
And then when she's just like, Curran, did you buy the land behind our house? Yeah. How much land was it? I call it the 500-acre wood. Like, he bought 500 acres of land.
No wonder we're low on money.
No wonder he's annoyed that Jim didn't give him the money.
And then when Christopher's just like, hi, I walk over here. And she's like, you walked like 20 miles?
Keep?
And then he walks back home and she follows him and it's the freaking house across the street.
And Derek is like, do you have any duct tape? Never mind. Never mind.
I can imagine him just like opening the door and be like, hey, y'all got any? And then just like slowly backing away and closing the door.
I'm not here for this conversation.
Just freaking like moonwalking out of that
above
area.
My pay grade.
Yeah, I like that they all kept it a secret that they'd separated with her.
Right.
Because because of that whole thing where they can't influence anyone's decision to stay or to leave.
I do like that she was like really understanding about it though, and she was just like, no, Barabbas wouldn't or shouldn't leave because he's the head of this, and like Derek is a pack person.
I feel like though that's a trauma response.
It probably is
that Kate has.
Well, she didn't think anyone would separate with them.
She's always talking herself why they're still a good person, but they're not going to choose me. And it's okay that they're not going to choose me because they're still a good person because they had these reasons why it would be okay not to choose me.
To be fair, I guess like to justify it, her only friend before everything happened was Jim.
He wasn't even her friend. He was her sometimes partner that
friend
she felt like wouldn't get her killed, probably.
Her sometimes friend, her closest thing to a friend.
Right.
Was Jim.
No,
and that's
she has
exactly
very valid reasons for a trauma response. Yeah, all the characters do. And I like how
that's exactly how Jim acts. He's just like, well, you're now inconvenient, so I'm out.
I will say the one thing Jim has going for him is he did sneak past that thing that let Doolittle treat Kate in the keep, even though she wasn't supposed to be there.
That's true.
And the fact that the alphas wouldn't have passed it if they had known it was for Curran just it irritates me to know it. But I do like that Jim was like, no, like
I will say Cassandra has been like solid though.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
Like she's been loyal still to like Kate and Curran.
She's really smart.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think I'm always disappointed we don't have another Andrea and Raphael story in this part, because where Raphael will do what's best in the interests of his business and things like that. Like he has some loyalty to Kate because I think he does genuinely like her. He's very much the alpha of
Buddhas.
About a clan.
Buddhas.
Buddhas. But
the Buddhas.
I really want but I reckon Andrea would be really conflicted because she is Kate's best friend. And she's also the alpha, and so she's got to do the things that are in the best interest of her clan. But Kate's also her best friend.
I feel like, but Andrea has like her own set of like morals that dictate her, that have really nothing to do with, or they're not influenced by like solely, I must take care of the pack. It is, I must do what I feel is the best thing to do, and sometimes it's the pack, and sometimes it's not.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think like anything from her perspective would have been really interesting around this time because she was never going to separate with Kate. She couldn't.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I would have really liked her what she was thinking around that. But that's just me.
No, it makes sense. Why it would work there? I did really like you said, I did like getting Jim's POV. It was in Small Magics if you buy that, but it was for magic breaks, magic shifts, magic breaks, one of those things. And I had never read that before. I liked reading that.
I didn't even realize there was one from Ms. POV until I
didn't
got
know.
to the end
I
of
should
the
probably
current
go
ones,
look.
and I'm like, oh.
I should probably go look for that. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's just one.
It's not very long.
Yeah, it'll take you 5 minutes. But
yeah.
So what do you guys think about George and Mahon and Eduardo? That's this book, right? Yes.
Yeah, it is this book.
Yeah,
Jin.
George, Mahon, and Eduardo. I love
because
George and Eduardo
goes missing.
George and Eduardo are great together. I ship it. I totes ship it.
Yeah. So do I.
George
and I love that George stands up to Mahon.
Yeah, them fighting was quite the scene.
No, so we get more of Martha as well, and Martha just being like,
yeah, she's wonderful.
I love the part when they're all like going to rescue, and Martha and George are like marching along with like the same expression, and Kate's just like, "Oh, Mahon is in the doghouse. He's not going to be out anytime soon. Things are not looking good for him." But also, he's a very interesting character, especially I feel like, honestly, for me, because my family is very conservative and I am not very conservative, but I became progressively more liberal as an adult. So like 18-year-old me was still conservative. 30-year-old me is not. But so it's like people I love who are probably some of the people who would do the most for me, right? They would go way out of their way because I'm their family and they love me. And I really disagree with like a lot of the things that they do and say and the viewpoints that they have. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, but you're getting here and using these factors, and these factors aren't right, and that's why like where you're at makes sense to you, but if you put in these alternate facts, then it's a huge problem, right? And I liked how Mahon, you like him, and obviously they love him, but also they're just like all the time like no, no, you're wrong, and also like you aren't standing by what you say you believe in. You're just believing that when it's convenient for you, when it gets you what the result that you want. Yeah. And is that really who you are? And so I just like that because they really disagree with him, but they do love him.
I did like it. I feel like what came out was him. Yeah. I did like the I guess like the spotlight of how much of a son he really like sees Curran.
Right.
Because I like throughout it, I'm just like, oh, he just kind of sees him as like this kid who he helped, and
it's
now
like
the kid
became.
But it's like
power.
no, it's like no, he's like he actually is like no, you are my son. He
actually does love them. Yes.
Yeah.
And I love
the whole
that
family sees him as a member of the family.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that even when he's dumb, kind of his love does end up winning out, even if it kind of has to be smacked into him that he's being an idiot, you know. But and I even like when he says to Curran that something about politics or whatever, and he's like, that's not going to love you or take care of you. Your wife will, so don't ever choose that over her. Yeah. I was like, yeah, okay, finally some good advice. All right.
Yep. Oh, no. But yeah, I like the final scene where they're all working together as well. It's like,
yeah,
I was really scared that Mahon was gonna die.
I cried so hard the first time, so hard. I was like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. but then I didn't cry the second time, so go me.
Oh, okay, so I'm confused. So George held the djinn, and then it was like her arm regenerated or something like
Did
that.
it?
Did her arm regenerate? Did it grow back? Does she now
No,
have two arms
it's like an
Yeah, no,
illusion.
no.
So it was like when
That was
they were
her.
passing it, it's like
So that was
Yeah, it
like
was what he
it
was
was saying the
offering her.
desire, right? Like
Right.
what it
Yeah.
was offering to
Right.
her. Okay, I was very
Right.
confused. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, did her
Just
arm grow
like-
back?
Didn't Kate like see having the power to defeat her father and stuff? Like, isn't that what
Yeah.
she saw?
Yeah.
So it was the same
it was
thing.
the temptation of what you really
I didn't
want.
realize that we had like kind of switched into what George was seeing when she held it is basically. So I was just like, did George's arm regrow? I'm so confused.
Right. Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, it's the temptation of the djinn.
Gotcha.
And also them like doing the teamwork to carry the
Yes.
earring.
Yeah.
And like how incredibly hard it was and how much they had to really trust and love each other to be able to resist it, to be able to hand it to the next person. That was really good.
It was good.
I do
Yeah.
love this book.
The mythology in it is so interesting. I really love like this particular one. I think it's and I love how it is from the same part of the world as her magic comes from and kind of how those work together.
Yeah.
I really like it.
And I liked how you've got a whole lot of the idea that you've got this almost generational magic that gets lost because people get separated from their families.
Mm-hmm.
So people, like, they're trying to piece together all this information, which, you know, like, it doesn't make it info dumpy because we're finding out at the same time that a lot of the characters are finding out as well, but without being told, oh, this is the long line of history of everything that's ever happened attached to this magical object and so on and so forth. So I like that we just sort of get it with
I
them,
thought it was
because I think it makes it
interesting
accessible.
that they had like everyone's, I guess, like demographics, not because of some like weird reason, but because like literally your magic manifests from wherever your family is from. So if something happens, because it's still so new, we can at least now track what it could be.
And also your beliefs. I love how magic is kind of changed or whatever
Evolved.
from your your roots, your ethnicity, what your ancestors, what deals they made or what they believed in or whatever, but also the current state of belief in that item or being or belief system. All of those things can affect the magic so much. And I think that is just an incredibly interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're jumping between 8 and 9 because they kind of blend together for me.
What?
Never.
But because like that when you said that, it instantly reminded me of how the sheriff of Milton County, Bo, I think his name is, how Kate was basically like,
legend.
I don't know if I should tell him that he's going to probably live longer and maybe grow taller because of all of these like great stories of Bo the Brave. And I was like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And how Kate knew it like right away. And was like, I guess I'm just going to let him have his happy ignorance. I'm not going to point out that.
Ignorance is bliss. He doesn't need to worry about it right now. He's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
I want to circle back just to Curran taking over the Mercenary Guild. And how he's really annoyed at the start. And as soon as he walks in, he's like, project.
He needs
all in shape.
Man.
My favorite part is when he wears the cloak to walk in. I'm just like trying to picture it so badly, but I just can't because he's literally always in sweats. And I'm just like, what does he look like in this feathered cloak?
I love it. I love that, like, even when Curran doesn't mean to, he's just like a natural leader.
Yeah.
But he's not like a dictator. He's very much like, together we can do this.
Yeah. Right. He is very good at manipulating people, but at the same time, I feel like he's never really manipulating them towards their own personal harm. You know, he's good at lining people up and presenting in a way that gets him the end result that he's trying to get, but he's never being evil towards people when he's using them, if that makes sense, because he's never going against their own personal well-being at all.
Yeah.
Which is like
he's
a very important line.
Knows about it. And I just love the scene where they walk in and they outline exactly what's going to happen. Here's the funds. This is how it's going to be spent. We're hiring these people back, and if you want to put in, you can. If not, there's the door.
Yep.
Right. Article A, Section C. This is where we get our power to do this, and that's what we're doing. Yeah, and I also love that like overhauling the food was like priority number one.
Yes. I do not blame them at all. That is an excellent priority.
For real.
Right.
Oh my.
The shifters are great.
There.
And I like that it in a lot of ways, it's the guild then sort of becomes the satellite post for all the pack members who left the pack.
Right.
And it gives them
something
a community space that they don't necessarily, well, I mean, they have it in the neighborhood, but it gives them an extra space.
Right.
I also love that Curran literally bought out half the neighborhood so that anyone who left because of them would like not be out in like the cold.
Yeah. It's a very Curran thing to do.
Kate was just like, man, where did all of our funds go? I don't understand like what's happening. Was that much of it wrapped up in stocks?
Yeah. Plus she was just like I don't know how much he has, so I don't know.
Yeah, she literally was just like, I guess all of it was wrapped in stocks.
She's like, you weren't going to talk to me about this? He's like, I tried 3 different times. One time you were naked. One time you were like, don't talk to me. I was like, oh yeah. Because that did happen.
Think it's great. He was just like, I did try. She's like, oh.
But Julie's right. Curran has so much charisma. Like and he knows how to live.
It's not just charisma. It's also his brain planning out 8 steps ahead and how he's going to.
He's a charismatic strategist.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And I also love that not only is he brilliant, but then Kate's like, no, you're not managing me. Don't. Like, do not. Yeah. Do not.
And it drives him up the wall.
Yeah.
He's like, but I can make your life so much better. And she's like,
they're like 2 equals who are also opposites, but 2 equals who just help each other so much. Like they are better together than they would be apart. And I just love them. They're my favorites.
Oh gosh.
So do we have anything else in 8, or do we want to do a side journey into 8.5?
I feel like we should talk about Kate's dad, because we never actually mentioned Kate's dad.
I'm so used to not saying much for spoilers. Good old Roland.
Spoilers abound here.
Roland. I feel like I don't even know like how I feel about Roland, man.
I think that's the point. He's obviously completely evil, but also, but also he loves Kate.
Actually, that was really good when she negotiates the height of the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like that he immediately is he calls her Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's hilarious. He's like, oh, hello, Blossom. It's wonderful to see you again. And I was like, I wonder how she feels about the fact that he calls her Blossom.
And also, is it in this book that he like kind of finds out what her childhood was like and is like outraged? Is it this book or 9?
I don't remember. I think
he's just 9. Like not even a doll, not even a book.
It's 9.
Like I think it's 9.
Yeah. And her aunt
I have more interactions in 9 because she's furious.
Right. Roland is such an interesting character because he's the big bad, but he's not the cutout. Here's the bad guy who's evil for no reason, but we hate him, but he's just evil. That's all his character is. That's not who he is.
He's a product of his time and the amount of time he's spent in power and being the most powerful thing.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant mind who's kind of warped by power and magic and just truly believes that his way is best for all creatures plus humanity. And he's convinced that if you knew and had the power and stuff that he had, you would agree with him. It's just you're too insignificant to understand.
Yeah, I think it's in book 9 where they're talking about.
It was the knife.
It must be book 9 because I think the knife.
It is 9.
You know,
Yeah, it is 9.
yeah. You know, you can teach someone how to build or make a better knife, or you can give them the perfect knife. One teaches them how to grow and change, and one basically just keeps them subservient to you because they're relying on you for anything that's better.
Right.
And that's his whole mentality, is he can make it better for everyone in his mind, what's better, but it completely stops the progress of anyone.
Yeah. But he's just like, I could do it better and I can do it now, versus you want them to like suffer, quote unquote, for years and years and years.
It's always interesting to me how we write and play with minds that are so much older than any of us humans are ever actually going to be, and what we think time would cause for them, and all of those things. I always find that interesting with supernaturals, paranormals, immortals, whatever this. I always find it interesting. I actually saw a tweet. It was somebody arguing against the fact. She was like, yeah, I don't think so. But this person tweeted that like a immortal fae being with a 20-year-old is like inappropriate. Like it's like essay and like children and stuff. And I was like, well, one, they're fictional, so there's always that. But then two, like, do you want them to be attracted to 80-year-olds? Because 80-year-olds are technically still infants compared to a 2,000-year-old fictional fae. Like an 80-year-old's not that much closer to their age span. Like, I don't know what you want from them if they're adults and it's a fictional story with creatures that we don't actually have or know. Then I don't think we really have to worry about. Although I do understand, because I'm just like, 20-year-olds are dumb. They're so young and dumb.
No offense to 20-year-olds.
And how do age gaps even work? Because now.
Like, no offense to 20-year-olds. I was once a 20-year-old. I understand, but also,
so like I
was once a 20-year-old. I understand.
Yeah. So like I do get it, but also it's fiction. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But no, I look back on like my freshman year of college, and I was like, man, what was wrong with me?
You were 18. That's all the things. That's the list.
Your life experience is extremely limited. At that age. And I think, actually, oh God, I can't remember if it's this book, the previous book, or book 9. There's the comment made that Roland has started aging himself up to be more fatherly as well.
9, right? I think.
Is it 9?
No.
I think it was mentioned before this too, but then it's expounded upon.
Yeah. He put crow's feet on his eyes and
which
wizened himself.
I find really interesting in his character, because he is trying to take on this, what he perceives to be that fatherly role. But for him, that still means dictating what Kate does with her life.
I think it was a 9 where he tried to slap Kate, and Kate was like, "Oh heck no, you are not."
Yeah, that was pretty solid. And then Barabbas was like, you were supposed to like keep things calm, and she's just like, I'm real sick of people telling me what to do. And Curran's like, he's your friend, I'm just reminding you. Like, but also like she's so worried about losing control of who she is to her magic. Like she's so worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, but I could also like, well, Curran's like, but he's your friend. I'm like, yeah, but just because he's her friend doesn't mean that he can boss her around.
Yeah. And also, it's a 9 when she like gathers all her power and like has it like dripping from her and is like walking around Curran, and it's just like, I told Jim that he would thank me and you would too and stuff. And then she's like, I got you. And he's like, yeah, but like you actually did though.
Yeah.
But
Like,
I loved
please don't do
when
that
she's
again.
like in the scene and it's just like, I'm the queen of everything that is around me. And you people just don't understand that.
But like she's never, I think, even realized that she's had that amount of power
Yeah.
before. So
I think in part of that scene, it was a surprise to her as well, but also how
Right.
easily she did it.
yeah.
Right. But also
So
when
I
he's
suppose
like,
we'll just continue talking about book 9.
but also when he's like, well, yeah, I can resist your dad because I hate him, but I love you, so don't ask me to have to
don't-
resist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
And I think that's a nice reaffirming of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as they're together, and I think they're far more solid from book 8 onwards, she's still got huge amounts of insecurity.
Mm-hmm. She does. But I also love how often in her mind in the books we get, he loves me. He would do literally anything for me. It's not like that. Curran is the one person who loves me more than anything else.
Yeah.
I do like that
I agree with this.
she pulled out the Lorelei card
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
when because he was like, you need to tell me, and she was like, oh, do I?
Yeah.
Well, you know this
like
thing
throw
that
it
happened?
in his face. That was good.
All right. I just have to say, in Magic Binds, I love the opening sequence in going to Roman's house.
Yeah. He's like, I'm
And,
trying to
nearly
avoid
getting
my
eaten.
parents.
I look, I love Roman, and I could happily have a book about Roman because every time he's on page, I die of laughter.
He's so great.
I
I
cannot help myself.
also love that he was like, I officiate the wedding, and suddenly he turned into the bridezilla.
Suck it, cousins.
He was like, no, this is the event of the century. And he's like
Exactly.
freaking sending invites without letting anyone
can't-
know. And
But also, Kate's literally doing nothing for her wedding, and he's just like, I'll do it.
Unacceptable.
Wrong
Like,
with you guys?
this has to be done. I don't know what to tell you.
it's just so good.
He's
He's just like, unacceptable. This will be magical.
But he does pull
So
off
you think you're
so
just
well.
going to turn up and say some vows and have a party?
She's like, yeah, pretty much. That's exactly
Well,
what I thought was
yeah.
going to happen.
She's like, that's what I want for my wedding. He's like, the wedding's not for you. The wedding night is for you. The wedding's for everybody else.
He's so great.
Also, the wedding itself, lovely. And also like Curran being speechless when he sees her, because it's talked a lot about how like stunning Kate is, even though it's not in the Hollywood version, if you will.
Yeah.
But
They say she's striking.
how striking she is, exactly.
Yeah.
And how when she puts literally any effort into how she looks, people are like amazed.
Blown
Because
away.
she's
Yeah.
literally in like just plain clothes and blood and gore and stuff all the time. And so I loved that Curran was just like dumbstruck. And it's kind of funny too if you go back to the restaurant scene back in the beginning when he's like mocking her date, but he's also like, "Stay, bro, stay," for being like dumbstruck by how she looks, and then he just like can't even function. I loved it.
Yes.
I also love how we get so much progress kind of in their personal life, while being all about the story, because it's really not super focused on Kate and Curran's relationship. Like the series is not all about that. It's a thread in every single book, but it's not super romance focused. But I do love that. And I really love that it's not back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, though. We're taking 2 steps backwards because we're only in book 7 of a 10-book series, so we can't be together yet. Like, no, it's not like that. They're making steady progress. And obviously, you can have an amazing relationship, never get married, never have kids. None of that. That's not required for a happily ever after. But I do like that in the space of the series, since that is what they want and what they plan on doing, that it's not like we wait till the last chapter of the last book to actually be happy together.
In a lot of ways, even though this is like a urban fantasy paranormal thing and there's magic and whatever, it feels like a very real progression of a relationship over time.
Right.
Rather than like, and we all love reading romance books, but that's a really condensed version, and there's usually lots of things that happen in a very short period of time, and sometimes that happens in reality, but more often than not, you have your ups and downs, you have things that go wrong, and you have to work through them and get to a point that is whatever you consider the end point for your relationship, or the end goal.
Right. Because you only need the people in the relationship to be happy. That's all that you need. You don't have to meet the expectations of everyone around you. But
you don't have to spend every waking second with them to be happy.
Right. Absolutely. And also their continued relationship with Julie and Derek and all of that. Like I really feel like
Julie development.
Yeah, you see the progress of everybody, not just, we need the next step, so we're getting married and having a baby. It's literally, you do see their relationship, everyone's relationship together, kind of ebbing and flowing, and also maturing and all of the things.
Can I just say that when Christopher turned into a god and suddenly Barabbas was just like, I no longer know what to do now that Christopher is an actual person.
Yeah.
Again, like full faculties, remembers everything.
Were you surprised by that?
I was very surprised. I had a feeling that Barabbas and Christopher were like gonna be a thing. I still ship it even if it's not ever a thing. But the fact that now Barabbas is like, I must avoid Christopher at all costs because I
and
don't
also
want this to
when
be a
Barabbas
thing.
is like, no, I do not need to see Christopher in his suit. Actually, like
Yes,
that's
why
not.
like, no.
I'm already having enough issues. I don't need that picture because I know it's gonna be good.
I'm having this crisis of this person who I used to take care of and is now like above and beyond, and I can't.
That would be a lot. I've been a caretaker for family members and non-family members and people who don't have their mind anymore. And if one of those people suddenly had all their faculties back, and if it was somebody that was like my age and I was attracted to, like I can't imagine, because it's you view them as people the entire time, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is different, and you have those certain understandings and expectations that you're not going to get any sort of logical response from them, you know, and you just kind of have to cater to their whims, right?
Is very different than like a
wildly different, and I just can't fathom having to try and switch those places in your mind. Like it really would be a lot.
Because I can't remember if it's this book or if it's someone else. I'm getting very confused. Barabbas has talked about his relationship history and the way that he's purposely in the past gone after relationships.
Sabotage.
He sabotages his own relationships.
That are imbalanced.
Right.
So even he's, like it's completely new territory for him. But I do love
and
that.
It would be a lot to go from someone who can't bathe themselves or eat to a literal god with like a lot of power and a brilliant mind, like one of the smartest people you've ever met, even when you are one of the smartest people that most people have ever met, you know?
And who was very apparently attracted to you, because Christopher's very much just like, no, I want him.
I love them.
Well, Christopher just latched onto him from the start.
Yeah. Well, because he called him an angel. He said, you look like an angel.
Yeah. Ironic.
Yeah.
And also, I do love how, like, the god comes out. He's like, why is the god of death coming? Is it the god of death? I remember. But he's just like, I know.
Like, someone's going to die.
You're actually not going to take them. Which is kind of really sweet.
I love that. That's what triggered it.
Joe as well, because he's just like, what?
He's just like, I'm just here doing Kate a favor, and suddenly I'm getting freaking
Yeah.
attacked by a god.
Yeah, that was good.
And then he's just pissed off at Kate. He's like, Kate, why would you do this to me? And she's like, I didn't know.
I did not know. Was
He went
not the
from-
plan.
He went from human who like forgets to eat to this, and we didn't know. We thought he just had lost his mind when he said he could fly.
But I think that's the really sad thing, is that he shattered his own mind because
Right.
because of Roland.
Yes, well, because he specifically was like, no, I don't want to be a god with
Yeah.
godly powers. And Roland's like, don't care.
I do feel like it's interesting that Christopher is the only person who had a lot of contact with Roland before Kate and still loved Kate and didn't just project Roland's issues onto Kate.
Yeah.
He was like, you're a separate person and clearly not the same. Like, he would have never saved me from that cage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's because when he met her, he didn't know who she was, I guess, you know?
I don't think so, though, because he did know who she was. Like, he called her mistress. She knew. Like, I feel like he knew. And also, you don't have any big regression once he gets his mind back. He's not like, oh, crap.
That's true.
You remind me of Roland and I hate him.
Damn it, Heather. Now I'm going to have to go back and reread that book.
That's so good.
But also, like, the fact that, like,
my favorite, and I'm so glad we
like,
got to this book. Sorry.
I do love that when Kate is like, I'm going to go to the people to get backup before, like, Roland can get to them. So it's like a race. And then they're like, that's not Christopher, that's Simon. And then Christopher just starts spouting off, like, things.
You lied.
Yeah.
About your time, about your distance, and it was actually this, and that's why I passed you over.
He was like, okay, Matthew, let's get some stuff straight. And he's like, okay, I believe you now. You're definitely not Simon.
Mm-hmm. Who
and then they're freaking wings, and they're just kidnapped. Like, oh, I hated that. Like, why would you kidnap Simon? He didn't do anything.
Because he's a frost giant.
I feel bad for
Roland was. I feel bad for Simon in this book, because this book was actually not his fault. This was just
but also he did turn Kate down and was like, anybody who takes your side is gonna die. And then she's like, oh, how'd Roland treat you?
But to be fair,
still good on your position?
To be fair, it kind of proved it right, because he was on her side for so long that he was.
That's not why Roland
already
took him,
targeted.
Though. Roland literally took him because he was useful to him.
Yeah. But Roland knew that they had some sort of relationship because Roland brought it up.
Right. But also,
that's why it's like,
yes, please.
Yes.
That would be so cute.
Oh my gosh. So cute. I would love that so much.
But also,
I want to say something, but I can't because it's spoilers, but it's like.
No spoilers. I haven't read them yet.
I know.
Soon.
Well,
maybe
really
you could actually read these before the live show. Like,
I read them before the live show.
No, maybe
I'm really tempted to just say, do you guys feel like doing 3 books for next month and do Blood Air in between? But that's a lot of books, so I won't.
I mean, we've done 3 books for most of the months.
I think we need to leave it up to Megan, because she's the one who's panicking and cramming them all in 4 days, and then it was like, oh, it's too much.
But okay, no, it was so much emotionally, because the first quarter of book 9 was just so difficult, because she literally has to watch her baby get speared or her husband die over and over again.
Yeah, that was
a lot. Okay,
it was a lot. But also, you've been complaining for half the read along. But sure, let's go to this one specific example where it's a lot.
Look, I like happy things. Okay, there's a lot of drama and stress. Okay.
It
doesn't make it bad.
Happy. How dare you?
A lot of drama and stress.
Yeah. Well, you got Baby B in this book. We got a baby.
Baby B was adorable.
Baby B who got threatened to be murdered. And Roland was like, well, I did kind of feel a little bit bad about that. I was like, should I do this? Because like, Kate might not forgive me for this one. Not because it's wrong to murder infants, but just my daughter will be mad at me. But you know what? Go through with it anyways.
I do really love that Andrea didn't blame Kate for her
Right.
baby being in danger. Like, she didn't hold it against Kate. She was like,
Right.
this is all your fault.
And she was literally
And
like,
she-
here, hold the
Like, she was-
baby. We're not having any weirdness between us. Get over it. I know that
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
over here thinking that
Like in
you're a
like in the
danger to
moment
all
when it
around you.
happened, yeah. In the moment when it happened, there's the shock factor, but as soon as she came over and she's like, "Here, baby,"
Right.
I'm like,
She was
you
like, I don't
also
blame
have
you.
Dolly and Kate just being like Andrea could have protected the baby. Like the baby was not getting touched, but you didn't realize it, so you just put yourself between them.
Because Dolly didn't live with the pack until she
Right.
was with Jim.
yeah.
So she didn't know like
Right.
And
what
And
and
happened.
also
The dynamics.
Jim keeps her very,
Close.
I don't want to say isolated, but she hasn't experienced the even though she's joined it now, she hasn't had the chance to experience it because she's literally gone from not living in the keep to suddenly having
Consort.
to do all of the consort stuff.
Yeah.
In a bigger way than Kate ever did, because Kate was quite happy to walk out and go, I'll deal with it later. Whereas Dolly really doesn't have that option.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dolly's doing great as consort though.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Well,
Dolly.
Dolly's the best.
they kind of need her to balance out Jim.
Yeah, because Jim's not the best.
No. Anyway. Okay. What else?
No,
Also,
we never talk about magic
I know
stars.
you're. Yeah, I was just going to say before when we were talking about Christopher having Maggie, the tiny little dog.
Yes.
I love Maggie,
So cute.
and I love that he just carried her everywhere.
Yeah, that was
And
cute.
I would,
That was his emotional support animal.
yeah. And I would like to see, new and improved Christopher Steed carrying Maggie around places still in a suit. That would be nice.
So cute.
Yeah. Maybe some fan art.
Some fan
That'd be
art.
nice.
Anyone who can draw, get on that. We would appreciate it greatly.
Well, here's the thing.
Nice.
They actually have a lot of art commissioned for some of their other books, and I wish they would do some more for Kate Daniels,
Right.
because there's a whole stack for Clean Sweep. There was actually some in Small Magics as well for some of the other novellas,
Mm-hmm.
but that would be nice.
It would be. Means a bigger fandom.
Yep.
What, you mean we're not big enough?
No. We need Kate and Curran supremacy.
Kate and
Well, we're doing
Curran
our bit.
supremacy.
Until we take over Sarah J. Maas, we are not good enough.
Ugh.
We're not talking about that during this live show because we're talking about Kate Daniels. We only really briefly talked about Kate going back to Mishmar and acquiring her aunt.
I think that's hilarious when her aunt just like showed up and everybody was just like, Kate, what did you do?
I love when
It's like that her aunt is a sword.
everyone is so
Yeah,
weirded out by those things.
I also like
But
that she was like, stop calling me destroyer of cities or whatever.
Yeah, the either
Yeah.
of cities.
Yeah.
I liked Era in her book, but I really like her in this state because you can tell that she is trying to understand, and she's now trying to help Kate really specifically for a good reason, because she's become disillusioned with her brother.
Right. And it's also very interesting how you feel like Kate is so powerful, and then she's just like, you idiot, you're doing literally everything wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you need to practice so much. I can't, like, an infant could do better than you're doing right now. And it's just like wild how much power they have compared to the average magic user.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, actually, I'm not going to say that because I can't remember if that's a spoiler or not. I'm confusing things. I am confusing things.
I don't know, I feel like the book 9 made me kind of think about the absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what was happening to Kate, and it's clearly what's happening with Roland, because he's just like, I am God.
Yeah.
So
And it comes up a lot in the next book, in book 10 as well, for even more characters. But I think this book explores it.
and then
in so
Curran ate
much
like a
more
saber-toothed
than I've seen
tiger,
done in other series. Yes.
A divine one.
a divine
one.
saber-toothed tiger. And they're like,
Nope.
Curran's stronger than he was before. This is
No
weird.
spoilers, but he has more interesting snacks in book 10.
Yes, he does.
His diet goes a little off the rails there.
I do like that when they were like fighting whatever was on their front lawn, when the HOA decided that they're just gonna move out of
the
neighborhood.
Bowl was a
yes,
bowl
that Andrea
like
was just
spit
eating
fire.
the bowl, and Kate
was like, Aunt B would have never let this happen.
And Andrea was like, shut up, I'm pregnant.
That tastes
And Kate was like,
good.
Curran, please never let me end up like that, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also find out about Julie's legacy, because she's
Yeah, that's true.
Powerful.
descendant of people.
She's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing.
We've
Hang
seen
on.
her before.
Open?
And also how Roland like always wanted one, and they were like, no.
Yeah.
No. Just like, you have one and you don't even know how to use her.
Yeah.
I do like that Kate was like, Julie, he's using you, and she's like, I am fully aware what is happening. I was a street urchin. I'm fine.
And then in Magic Stars, Derek's like, he's using you, and she's like, yeah, no shit. Like,
Well,
like,
if you're not going to talk to him, someone's got to talk to him and figure out what he's doing.
Yeah, she's literally like, our intel is 20 years old. He thinks he doesn't understand children anymore. I'm not his daughter that he's trying to make a good impression on, and he fully plans on flipping me at
He's
some
trying
point,
to recruit
so-
her.
Right.
He's
I
going
do
to
like
reveal
that Julie's
more
like, I'm
because-
your herald. And Kate's like, I'm sorry, you're my what?
You are what? You're what now?
Mhm. And also,
Like, I
when her
announce
aunt is
you.
like, you need to have the colors of your family, so it sinks into him that half that that the other army on the other side of that battlefield is his own colors, like his own family things that matter to him.
Yeah.
I do like they have that stripe of blue because they are still human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that too.
Um,
And what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing that I really liked was that sort of the alliance that Kate strikes with Gastek as well.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
In
But
this
yeah, he's
book.
now
always liked
her
him.
I
supreme
do like him.
smart person.
Legatus.
Starts with an L. Yeah.
Legatus. Or
Yeah.
Legatus. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I should
I
listen to
wouldn't say
audiobooks so I
Lugosi,
know
but
how to
that
pronounce
is-
unpronounceable things.
My brain was like Lugosi, and I'm like, that is an actor who played Dracula. That's wrong.
No, Legatus. Because it also, and it's also significant because it now means that, Kate's taken away one branch of
Mhm.
the people.
And
Right.
she's taken away like some really powerful people.
Yeah.
Like Gastek is very powerful. Like literally, he just got passed up because he was a liar, not because he
Yeah,
was
that's
bad.
true. That's true.
And even Rowena's quite powerful in her own.
Rowena's
Yeah.
very powerful because she
And
has
wasn't
the
it-
seduction powers that Kate's mom
Yeah.
had.
It was book 8, I think, maybe book 9, when the person at the casino was like, go away, and Rowena
book
was
8,
like,
I think.
you're very sick. When Gastek
Yeah.
asked who was on, you don't know, you weren't
No.
here, you saw nothing, or you are dead. Like, you
It
are
was-
the mistakes were made. You could not have made a bigger mistake than you made today.
Yeah, it was book 8 because she was like, oh, he's not gonna let me in, and she just took control of every single one of their vampires.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I hope someone notices soon.
And
'cause this
he
is kinda
didn't.
hard.
He was just like still trying to push her out, and she's just like, oh my god.
And then you just see Rowena like
Confidence.
bolting. Just like, yes,
In
nothing
her
wrong,
pencil
nothing wrong, run, run,
skirt
run, run,
and
nothing wrong.
stiletto heels, running as fast as she can.
Oh gosh.
Also, again, not spoilers, but something happens with Rowena in book 10 that I thought was like happening when she got abducted by the genie Merc. That's what I want. Merc. I was like, oh no, I don't want to know. And then it wasn't that. I was like, oh, it's a whole nother scene in a whole nother book. It's so confusing sometimes.
I found it very interesting that they were talking about how they thought like Rowena and Gastek were a thing, but then like when they had spies, they realized they weren't a thing. And I was just
Curran's like, in all these years, they've never come out of each other's houses, so that's a no.
But I was like, I didn't even think about them being an item, and now I'm just like,
oh, I did. I always did.
I never did.
I was like, because they're like they're definitely on each other's side against other people amongst the people. You know, they have each other's backs. So
I think I never think of Gastek as like a romantic person.
Who?
Gastek.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I feel like even if like I don't know, I just feel like he just doesn't feel attraction to people.
Right.
He might. Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen it, so I'm just like, oh, okay, he's just not a person who's attracted to others. That's fine.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many interesting characters in here that, I mean, I said before, I'd read books on most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be really fascinated to see their stories fleshed out. All right. Should we talk about magic stars?
Yes, we should.
Yes. We should talk about the evil mermaids.
The evil mermaids.
I don't have a thing for mermaids. It's tiny.
I would also, one more thing, the banter between Ascanio and Derek is wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
That's magic. It's great. It's late.
The Virgin Sacrifice is still my favorite, though. It's your time to shine.
So good. They're so good together. I also love that people will call them out and just be like, you're going to take this show on the road?
So, Steph, in Blood Air, we follow Julie, obviously, but we also get Derek and what's his name? Scanio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's prominent in it too.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited to get the next generation of Kate Daniels.
So good.
Don't spoil this for me, Steph.
Don't spoil anything.
I'm not going there.
Yes. I'm not going there. But anyways, back to Magic Stars. We were on there for all of one line. That was good job, team.
It was
good job, team.
It was nice to have Derek's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I love Derek.
Derek is wonderful.
I love him. This little 20-year-old.
Derek is the best. Boy Wonder is still Boy Wonder. I love him so much.
I love him.
He still makes mistakes, but he's a
20-year-old
that gives me hope.
Mm-hmm. And I also like how he's just like, I'm not having this conversation, so I'm going to draw the line in the sand. You're a kid, I'm an adult. That's just going to make you mad long enough to skip this conversation.
Yeah.
Also like how incredibly well Derek and Julie work together. They really trust each other to have their skills on point and to do whatever they do best and to protect each other's backs. Like they really just trust each other in a fight. And I like watching their scenes.
Yeah.
And they know each other so well.
Yeah, they really do.
Just
and
so
also how I even like the beginning scene where he's almost feral, basically, because of being triggered by the murder of the children and just killing everybody. And she's like, good.
I do like that Julie's like, hey, you need to like go out and run. I know you don't want to, but like you need to. And then he's just like terrifying monster, and she's very calmly just like, are you done now? No, all right. I'll just chill here. Let me know when you're done.
I kind of wonder what he would have done if he could have gone to her.
Hey, somebody would have torn her apart.
Actually,
I feel like he wouldn't have that.
This one is interesting because it's where Julie actually goes, no, I know that Kate bound me to her as well.
Oh, yeah, and she's like, I know where Kate is at all times. And she just like points in a direction.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's creepy. She's like, yeah, that's my point, actually.
They're Kate and Curran in a different font. I'm sorry, that made me giggle.
That's pretty good.
That is great.
It's pretty good. I love them.
Well, Derek and Curran have similar backstories too.
Very similar, which is part of why they bonded so much and why he was Curran's wolf.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fallen star? Because when I tell you, this gave me so much hope for Derek and Julie to be endgame. When he just like walks up to her and she's like, oh crap, you're already taken. He's like, yeah, die. Yes, exactly. Made me so happy.
Any doubt about that?
No, it just made me so freaking happy. It's like, yes, all right, okay. That was good.
It is nice.
Also, Julie using the same magic that Kate uses, but with a different training.
And because she doesn't have the raw magic.
Right, not as much power, but really more training, at least in that on that one thing, right? That was very interesting.
Well, I mean, I think Kate made it like her mission as well to make sure that Julie had magic training, and Kate didn't really have magic training. She had combat training.
Yeah.
No. This training was specifically from Roland. He's the one that's been teaching her the incantations and the words and stuff. So I thought that was
because he wants to shape her into his like protege or whatever.
Right.
Not protege,
because
but like
Kate starts
weapons.
with her aunt, but Julie started before that with Roland.
Roland eventually wants her to be like the new Hugh.
Right.
Yeah.
And she knows that. And she also knows what he did to Hugh, which we get Hugh's book next. I cannot freaking wait.
I didn't even know Hugh had a book.
Hugh has a book, and it's next. It's Iron and Magic.
It's the first time I'm going to reread it, so I'm really interested to see.
So good. It's going to be so good.
Oh, it was good the first time I read it, but having not reread it, I'm really excited.
It was good the first time I read it too, but I read it out of order, so I didn't have quite all of the information that I should have, and I did not reread it when I read the last couple books earlier this year. So it's been a few years, and this will be my first time reading it in order, and I've been waiting the entire read along to get to this book. I can't wait. So excited. Megan, if you don't love it, so help me. So help me. I like happy things. Don't we all? But listen, the villain, he's a villain.
And eventually there will be a second book to Hugh's book, and we'll be happy.
I know.
There will be a second book to Hugh's book.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the spinoff series following him, but they've never written the second one because pandemic and it's darker. So they're like, no, let's go with the happy vibes.
Yeah, it's still on their list of things that they want to do. So I'm like, one day I will get it, and I'll be so excited.
I can't wait because, 9.5 ends like satisfactory. They definitely leave it where the story's going to continue, and we haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah. What I do like is like the Kate Daniels series, and this isn't a spoiler, like we get to the end of book 10 and there is a satisfying conclusion to 10 books worth of world, but then we have all these other stories that are still continuing that are there, like they exist in the same space, but they're their own thing. And I like that.
Yep.
Makes me happy to reread them as well, because I know that if I just want to read the Kate and Curran story, I just have this many books. I don't have to.
Right.
Like some of my other favorite series that have 20 books. Like that's a lot of books to reread.
Yeah. And 9.5 really does set up a lot of information for book 10.
It does.
They're very connected, almost as much as book 9 and book 10 are. Like there's a lot. So I'm very excited. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be so good.
We're over here just going, yay, and Megan's like,
I cannot believe it.
if you say so.
Yep, I'll take y'all's word for it.
Listen. It's so good. Do you like any villain love interest, Megan?
What do you mean by like any villain love interest? I've read
Just what I
Mafia.
said.
Does that count?
Kind of, but have you ever? I feel like this happens more in YA, but where there's kind of like the good love interest and the villain love interest, and you're like, no, the villain all the way. The
Very
Darkling
rarely.
from Shadow and Bone comes to
I've never
mind.
read Shadow and Bone.
Did you watch it?
No.
Wow.
The reason I haven't watched it is because I
Rabid.
know how that one ends, and it's very disappointing.
Yeah. But the show's still good. And they just they're like filming season 2, and there's like a bunch of new characters, including Nikolai. Like, yeah. I love the show. And the show's really funny. The show's really good. The show's really good. You should watch it anyways. And also, my sister was like, the Darkling in the show is even better than the Darkling in the books. And I'm like, that's pretty good. Can't lie to you. He nailed it.
Ben Palms.
Yeah. He's pretty good at the whole immortal bad guy thing.
Yeah. But if they can turn this into a TV show, why can't they turn this into a TV show so that I can watch that over and
Not
over again?
YA.
That would literally be so complicated.
It really would be.
We
It
can't
would, but it
remember
would be
everything that
glorious.
happens in one of the books. We're very bad at it.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We muddle our way through it. And I do have notes. We just don't talk in order, so I lose my place.
Yeah, I don't have notes. I should, though.
To be fair, we
Because
started
even, like,
this whole
earlier
thing
today-
with national hockey leagues, so
Today I was
That's
like,
very true.
what was book 8 even about? I'm not sure. Probably Stef will jog my memory, though, so it'll be okay.
Cool.
And then see,
Yeah.
like,
An
once you,
amnesia
like,
plot.
say, like,
And
once,
taking over the Mercenary Guild.
right. Once you get, like, something, it's like, okay, yes, I can work off of this, but a lot of times I'm just
Yes.
like,
See?
I could not tell you what happened in which book. Not for
if
the
it
life
becomes
of
a
me.
TV show, it'll be a TV show on Sci-Fi. I'm already calling it. It would not be a TV show on like Netflix. It would be on like the Sci-Fi channel.
Megan, you suck.
You never know.
Well, they made The Magicians, but it was on Sci-Fi.
That's
Mhm.
what did I watch it on then? Because we don't have sci-fi here.
It might have been
It's
on like
on
bought by Netflix because Netflix will buy
Amazon,
licenses.
maybe?
That's
No, I didn't
Hulu.
have Amazon.
I don't know. It's on
Do
something.
you have
I don't know.
Hulu? Is that a thing in
No,
Australia?
we don't have Hulu. No,
Wow.
we've got the, what is it? We've got Prime, Stan, Netflix, Binge.
I'm not going to talk
Probably some
about my
others that I-
favorite show. That's a Hulu original then.
What is your favorite
Oh,
Hulu original?
they get picked up by various things over here,
Mhm.
but it just depends. What it
Only
is.
Murders in the Building. It is
Oh,
the show I've been the most excited about in forever. It's
I've
so
heard about that
good.
one.
It's so good. It's funny. It's a mystery. There's these two old guys and Selena Gomez start a true crime podcast about the murder that happened, and they're trying to figure out who did it, and it is the best thing. I cannot wait for season 2. It's all I want out of life. That's amazing. It's so good. I need a rewatch, actually.
The only Hulu show that I know of is called Letterkenny, and it's because my spouse is obsessed with it, and all of his friends are too, and they keep quoting it, and I have no idea what it is. I think he had me watch like 2 episodes, and it gave me like
it's the
it gave me Schitt's Creek vibes.
No. Blasphemy. First of all, Schitt's Creek is literal god tier, and Letterkenny is possibly the stupidest thing my eyeballs have ever had the misfortune of laying upon. It's only because my husband, he was like, you might like this. Let me tell you. No, I did not like it. It is the dumbest thing. Honestly, it's not similar vibes. That is literally the wrongest statement that you could make. They are not the same. Not even a little bit.
They have similar vibes.
No. Because Letterkenny is literally just like dumb, crass, bottom, low-hanging fruit humor. And Schitt's Creek has like layers to it. And like the more you watch, the funnier it is, especially Moira and her statements usually. But
Heather is not okay.
It's not. No. First of all, I would just like to know how much do their fandoms actually overlap. I would say virtually zero. They are not made for the same people.
Writing up Heather is one of the few joys in my life, honestly.
Look, I'm the person who basically watches Disney Plus so that I can watch the Marvel miniseries. So that's about where my head is.
I really need to catch back up on Marvel series.
Yeah, I'm so caught up on Marvel everything.
My God, the Eternals. Oh God.
What was wrong with it?
Bring coffee. And I don't even drink coffee. Bring coffee, you'll fall asleep.
I watched the Eternals. I watched it in theaters, actually. It was really nice because it was like empty. Me and my husband
they just tried to do too much in 2.5 hour sitting.
It was a lot. We were very glad we did not try to get our kids to watch it. Very glad. Because they like the Marvel movies, but like, no. That would not have kept their attention whatsoever.
No. That one should have been split up into a couple of episodes.
That's a lot.
That's all good. I only have one thing that I want to try and watch before the holidays finish, but I'm still putting it off because it's the last season of a show, and I'm sad.
What show?
The Expanse.
The what now?
Expanse?
The sci-fi show. And a sci-fi series. I've also put off reading the last book. So.
Interesting.
Don't avoid it because of what I said. Just make sure you've got snacks and some things to keep you.
You can always watch half one night and then half another night if you're on Disney Plus. But
Hawkeye was fun.
I'm not caught up on Hawkeye. I only watched like the first 2 episodes. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. Doubtful. No, I won't. It's already 10. No, I won't be watching a show.
I think for me, Hawkeye, like the last 3 episodes were the best episodes of Hawkeye.
I want to catch up on that.
But yes. Anyway, should we start wrapping this up?
That's like the rest of my night's going to be me taking a shower and then watching like musicals from the 50s. So while I finish crocheting, look, this is what I've gotten done while talking. So
cannot relate.
No.
It's a commission. Someone wanted a steering wheel cover that was made of granny squares, and I see them on Wednesday, so I'm trying to get it done. I have this and then a keychain that has a bumblebee on it. Cute. I should have charged more. I regret not charging more.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, because this took more time and materials than I was expecting it to, and I'm just like, dang.
Yeah, do your breakdown after you finish, so that the next time you've got. Yeah.
My problem is,
and then you open your little store, and we all buy from you.
I always charge what I would want to pay, and that's a That's a bad
That's the
strategy.
issue, is that I was like, I don't,
Because
like,
I'm like,
you
I'm
buy
poor.
cereal
I'm
meal
not.
covers.
Yeah, like I'm not doing. No,
Well,
like
work out what you would want to pay and then add on it.
at a
Yeah, I
solid
do.
15%.
I have the keychains set because I
That's
know
15%
how
more
much
you didn't
time
have.
they take.
Yeah.
Like, I know how much time keychains take. I know how much materials they take. I'm good at that.
Mm.
And then I know generally, like, the bookmarks. And the bookmarks, I have to make a bunch of them because I'm going to submit it for, like, this art fair thing. They have, like, a vending machine where people put in, it was like up to $20, and you put all your stuff and then you make money off of it, and it opens in April. So I'm trying to get enough stock
Oh, cool.
to do that.
You want
So
photos?
I will, trust me, you'll get lots of them. I'm literally, because the last Sweat and Soap is coming out like next week, and I may have already gotten it because I work at a bookstore. I am making
Nice.
bookmarks that coincide with all of the colors of the covers,
Oh,
and that's going to go
very
on
nice.
my Instagram this week.
Cute.
Very nice.
I'll believe it when I see it posted, but
talented.
cute.
Thank you. Well, this is the one I'm currently reading, or I'm about to start, and this goes with this one. I just need to sew in the ends, but I'm lazy.
You've read those before, right?
Nice.
Or no?
I've read up to like number 5 before, and then I had to go out and buy the rest of them. So I spent some Christmas money and I bought the rest of the series.
I've
From
read
my
the first
bookstore.
3.
It's so good. It makes me so happy. Every time I read it, I'm just like, I love this so much.
I do need to.
And
Love
Night of
that
the Ice
for
is
you.
getting drama-y, so I'm taking a break on that one. I'm on number 4 right now on Night of the Ice because the number 8
Drama-y.
came out. So
Wild.
I'm
Yeah. I will probably be reading Iron and Magic tonight because we keep talking about it, and I have zero self-control.
You're gonna read what?
Iron.
Oh, I thought you said Eye of the Magic. I was like, we didn't talk about that because I don't know what that is.
Eye of the Magic.
Hey, you go ahead and tell me that doesn't sound like a real title. That sounds like a title.
I mean, you said that, I instantly thought Gift of the Magi, but that's a completely different thing. That's really depressing.
Magi. I literally hate that story so much. I was like
It is
traumatized as a child watching a black and white version on my TV, and I was like, this is how it ends? This is the ending? This is terrible. I hate it. Thanks so much. Never again. I hate that story.
One Piece is a commitment. Like, the volumes, there are 100 volumes out right now. Like, can you imagine going and buying 100 of these?
No, it's literally
And
like
then it being like-
$1,000.
And then the author being like, okay, well, we're at about the halfway point now, guys. Like, no, what?
I don't have that type of patience.
Well, at least you've always got something to look forward to.
I applaud you, One Piece. I could not. I applaud you. I could not. My nephew's obsessed, but he reads it online. And I'm like trying to not read things illegally if I can help it.
Good job. You can help it.
Although I think One Piece is on the app, the Shonen Jump app. So
Okay.
There you go.
So that one's
Well,
easy
that
to
would
get.
be
I'm
easier
trying
to read than 100 actual issues.
Yeah. I've been reading it since high school. I
That's
understand. That was
I'm
my
not
nephew.
saying that this has to apply to you right now with this particular instance, but you should not keep making a mistake because of the time or money that you spent making it. Doesn't mean you have to
But if
stick
you
with it. You
enjoy
can
it,
quit
it's-
at any
If you enjoy it.
time. Yes.
If you enjoy
look,
it, you
look,
keep
if you're
going.
enjoying it, more power to you. If this is a lifelong thing for you, I'm happy for you. It's no skin off my nose. I don't care. But at the same time,
See,
you can quit at any point.
I never got into One Piece, and so now it's just daunting. And I'm like, no,
No joke.
I'm not super interested in it anyway. I'm gonna keep with what I'm reading. I'm very upset because I bought the first 3 of the Wallflower, thinking that because the anime was like 12 episodes, it's only going to be like a 10-book manga, only to find out that it's 36 books,
Should have done
and they
better
no longer
research.
sell them. because they are super, super old. And I'm just
Don't read them. Just resell.
It's too late. It's too late. I already read it. I'm in. I'm
Wow.
invested. So
She's committed.
Wow.
I'm committed. This one might have to be I find it where I can, and I'm sorry. And then if I ever get volumes pop up at a resale shop, I'll buy them.
I cannot
But-
save you from yourself.
You cannot.
It's okay, Heather, because you do you. Everyone will do themselves.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my book tree is just manga. I think I've shown that to you. That one I think I
Just
posted.
know I can feel the irritation across my chest, down my arms. I can feel it. I'm just like, nope, it's okay. It's all right.
I think I got up to like episode 120 on Fairy Tale. So that was when Spouse and I first started dating. So that was a really long time ago. That was our date night. Was we would like eat food and watch Fairy Tale.
Nice.
I took the volume.
don't have the
That's
patience.
smart. See, I should do that, but instead I have the first 3 to 5 of many, many series. It's a problem.
That is a problem.
Cutie
You
and the
should
Beast
fix
is
it.
amazing though. So if you want to read the first 3 of Cutie and the Beast, that's the only 3 that are out right now.
I own the first 2, and I've read them.
Also, book 3 of Manly Appetites literally came out last week. So I bought that one today too, and I'm super excited because the Manly Appetites is adorable.
I don't know
And that
that
one's
one.
supposed to be short. That one's only supposed to be somewhere between like 4 and 6 long. So
That's why I liked Spell of Desire. It was only 5 volumes long.
I think I only have 1, 2, and 3 of Spell of Desire. Also, I didn't realize that they stopped making like random demon love spells. So I have 2 and 5 and can't find any of the rest of the volumes anywhere.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yep. It's fine. I'm just staring at my manga now. I'm
Oh.
just like, man, I have a lot of manga.
All right. Well, then we might finish this so that everyone can get on with their evenings or their days.
Yeah, I get
Otherwise,
to work
we'll be
tomorrow.
here talking about whatever for however long until someone probably falls asleep.
I will say though, I do love working at a bookstore. Highly recommend if you're just like, man, I should get a job somewhere. Bookstores are great.
I miss working in a bookstore. I miss it so badly.
Yeah, I had an English teacher come in and she was just like, I need more books that are not just the hate you give. She said, because my student said, and I quote, I'm really tired of reading about rich white kids falling in love. And I was like, that's a mood. Here, let me take you and start pulling out all of these books for you. And she left with like 20 books.
Yep.
And I was just like, yes.
Good.
So I was like,
That's
here's
nice.
Queer Asian Rep. Here is More Things by Angie Thomas. Jason Reynolds is also good. Here's Elizabeth Acevedo. She made me cry. She's really good. And I'm like literally just like walking down, picking up. Like here's Pride by Ibby Savoy. It is Pride and Prejudice, but in like modern time New York. And so she was just like, thank you.
Mhm. Good job. Good job, team.
All
There's
right.
a lot out there, but
There is a lot out there. Okie dokie. So next month we are going to finish off the main Kate Daniel series. So we have Iron and Magic.
Are we reading all 3
Did I
or are
say
we
it
only
properly,
reading
Heather?
2?
you did. You did.
And Magic Triumphs. Well, it's up to you two to decide because I know I can do it, but that's because I'm a crazy person.
Challenge accepted.
Steph, I've been on, like we read the whole Nalini Singh and like that was 3 books a month.
Was
All
it
right.
3 books a month?
It was 3
Yeah,
books
it
a
was
month up
wild.
until
It
we
was
got
wild.
to Trinity, and then Trinity was 2 because there were only like 5 books in Trinity.
Oh,
All right, I vote we stick with the 2 books. March will be a really nice light month because we'll
That's
have
fair.
1 book. And then we'll go into Hidden Legacy, which honestly I feel like is lighter and easier and quicker.
I'm so
Kate
excited for
Daniels
Hidden
anyways.
Legacy. Are we gonna do
Hidden
like
Legacies, you almost want, well, Hidden Legacies, the first 3 books are one story arc. The
And then there's
3.5 bridges.
Bridges the 2,
So
and then you
3.5
start the other one?
bridges, and then you start.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do 2 books and then 1 book and the half book, and then 2 books,
Yeah.
and then because we don't have the last one out
Yeah,
yet,
we're waiting for 6.
Yep.
so hopefully it'll be out around the time we finish.
That works. Okay, so just these 2 for
Roughly
next
the
month.
plan. Yes.
This way.
And
I
some of
don't
us
know if
will
I'm the
be-
right way around anymore.
2 of the 3 of us will be starring Iron and Magic tonight.
One of the 3 of us will be continuing Sweat and Soap and watching 1950s musicals.
That's okay. We'll remind you the week before the live show.
We will.
We will probably aim to be back around. It'll be the 2nd or the 3rd Saturday-ish of Feb.
Whatever Saturday is not
Yeah.
Valentine's is what I would assume. Because
Valentine's is on a Monday.
Valentine's is on a Monday, which means not the 12th, most likely. So
Not
probably the 9th.
Let's do the 19th. I feel like
Okay.
that makes the most sense.
Yeah,
I'll move my post-it note.
February 19th. That gives me 4 whole weeks to forget that these series exist.
Here we go. Moved.
No, it doesn't.
To the
It gives
19th.
you 3 to forget and
Well,
1
sorry.
to.
And one to binge. Got it.
Two.
You're right.
Hang on. Do you want to do it on the
Frantically
Saturday or the
catch
Friday
up.
night? Because that
Do you want to
changes
do
for
it
me.
a Friday night or Saturday
Oh.
night?
We
What is
don't-
easier
we
for
normally
you,
do a Friday
Stef?
night.
Because you're
As long as it's not a Sunday night, we're good.
I'd
then Friday
rather
night
do Friday, but
Friday the 18th?
also I can.
Friday
make
the
other
18th,
things
that
work
works.
if needed. But yeah, I kind of prefer.
Look at
Friday.
us, teamwork, deciding
Yeah.
in a live
I was
show.
like,
what
that's
we're
fine.
gonna
My
do.
We are
schedules are always
professionals.
my schedules always say I need to be off by 6. So
Thanks for
Good job,
hanging
team.
out with us, guys. And
this
for
was super
chatting.
fun.
Yeah, thanks.
I love
Very
this.
excited.
This is one of my favorite times of the month every month.
Literally same. And I feel like
Alright.
talking about it always hypes me up to start the next book. I'm like, no, I'm not tired of it. I just talked about it. It's time to go. It helps
It's a
me.
good series like that.
My mood
Mhm.
reading.
All right. Well, have a good night or day, everyone, depending on where you are. And we will be back next month. Bye.
Yeah.